right, man. Cowboys get Elliott back, man.
That's really exciting. But truth be told though, I mean it's probably the best thing they've done all season. And that's not a lie. But I mean, he should never left.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what he is? I mean, he ain't trying to change the world. He never told you nothing. But you went off and let Pollard be the bell cow, and he said, "The hell with this, I'm out of here."
The funny thing is, what's the cat? And I can understand not signing, but the cat that went to Buffalo, not Buffalo, Baltimore, he wanted to come play for the Cowboys.
Yeah. Henry.
Yeah, I don't think they even talked to him.
No,
Derrick
didn't
Henry?
talk to him.
Yeah, that's what he said after he signed to the Ravens. He said, no, he's my first choice. I wanted to go become a Cowboys. He said they wouldn't even talk to him.
You didn't hear that?
Yeah.
No, I hear that they wouldn't talk to him. It's one thing to go.
That's what Henry said. He said they wouldn't even talk to him.
Never heard from him.
Yeah. And he made it clear he wanted to become a Cowboy when he was in free. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show with the squad. It's Black Thor, Ice Water, and yours truly, Puma. Let's go to hot takes. Black, what's your hot take?
This one I find to be interesting, man. I kind of pulled this out of the sky a little bit. A lot has went on with Deion Sanders, and he took over Colorado. For the most part, he had a hype year. I wouldn't say successful on the field, but we've noticed a lot of his students getting out of there, transferring. Some of the young men that decided wanted to go are recanting and going elsewhere. It makes me think, is this season going to be that well up and coming? And if it's not, how is that going to stand for Colorado football?
I don't know. I think maybe the fans now are kind of, dealing with reality. They kind of came back down to earth because when you look at the spring game numbers, I think last year they had 47,000, and now that's down to 27,000. Although that's probably like the second largest amount of fans ever to show up for a spring game in Colorado. So yeah, but I think that. I think they kind of like, all right, yeah, that's cool. We hope you do good, but we're not as excited or, we're not gonna lose our minds like we did before, right? Like last year. If you can make a ball game, win 6 games, and win a ball game, that's a major accomplishment. But I think them thinking, because he likes to talk and kind of get you hyped up, and my son and everybody going, then the reality set in early late in the season, and everybody's like, okay. But I think they're a little bit more subtle now, even if he is still preaching some delusions of grandeur. I'm just going to say that. And some of them he might prove me wrong. But until you do that, I think it's going to be, people are going to be kind of watching back closely. They have a running back they pick up that transferred from Ohio State. I think his last name is Hayden. He can go. They just didn't have enough opportunities for him at Ohio State University. I think that's going to help them majorly. The offensive line shored up a little bit. Of course, the defense should be pretty decent. And if his son can just play football and quit telling us about how many times he talked to Tom Brady and just throw the damn ball and just really zero in on that, they can be decent. At least my thing is get to 6 games, win the 6 games, go to bowl game, go from there.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the folks who he lost and some of the folks he came in with. And according to him, everything's fine. He's getting the players that he wants. He's getting the offensive line to protect the quarterback and to make some holes for running backs. I think one of the running backs that he had last year decided to go in the portal because of the young man who came in from Ohio State. So I was watching a press conference of his, and everybody was asking about the portal. And he was like, yeah, there's some folks in the portal. There's some folks in the portal for a lot of teams, but we're good. We're good. We got the coaches in line. We got the players that we want, and it's onward and upward. So I know the press has been really kind of getting on, highlighting the players that are that are leaving Colorado, but it doesn't seem like they're highlighting the players that are coming to Colorado. Also, got to go both ways. Black.
I agree with that. They aren't highlighting the ones that are coming in, but I like I said, I think he's got to get to a bowl game this year, man. He's got to get to 6. He's got to get to a bowl season, and if not, the vultures, the chirping will start, and at some point, they're gonna look for the media to talk to some of these players that left and hear what they have to say negative about it. So there's gonna be a swing, and then basically, if they're not winning, that swing is gonna be very wide.
Ice, hot take, man.
Yeah, hot take is Phoenix Suns were swept in their first round playoff series. Kevin Durant said he didn't think he was being used right in the offense this year and things of that nature. So I know how most of the majority of the group feels about certain people. I'm just gonna throw it out there and see what you guys thought about Phoenix overall, and then just whatever the comments that were made by Durant.
Black.
You know, realistically, man, when LeBron went to Miami years ago, a lot of these cats thought I could be a general manager. They just thought, you know, if I go play with this player, I go here, we get this, we all got it together. It doesn't work that way, man. It just doesn't work that way. So I was wondering when they came together booking, I'm like, okay, that's nice. Some scoring. Who's playing defense?
Right.
They gave up a lot. Who's playing defense? And Phoenix really, when they brought Bill on, they have no first or second round draft pick to 2030. Think about that for a second. So I can't buy when a man basically scores 20 some points a game and it says that, you know, they had me stuck out in the corner, they wasn't using me properly. How more effective could they use you, boss? They give you the ball every play. You get 5 to 10 seconds to decide what you're going to do, shoot or not shoot. What more you want? Oh, I know what you want. When you get the ball, the other team 5 members go stay on the sideline. That's using you more effective. Come on, man. I'm getting a little sick of these players. It's the same thing with Anthony Davis. We didn't know what we were doing. Huh? Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Denver smacking your ass. And you're going to turn around and blame the coaching staff? I don't get it. If there's a lack in the main player that has shown this over the years, it's been LeBron James. Never take accountability when things go wrong. Always up in the press when things going good, all this other BS. As soon as things go wrong, you know, they don't do this, they haven't done that. No. You win some, you lose some. And Kevin Durant, maybe you should stop being a baby, but I think it's too late, boss. You was on a winning franchise, decided to go play in Brooklyn with your boy, Kyrie Irving. I guess they told you to do that too, right? Come on, stop the madness.
Yeah, I think of Kevin Durant, and I think of, and I said this on the show a long time ago, he cannot carry a team as a superstar. He didn't carry OKC. He got with a ready-made championship team with Golden State. He thought he could carry it, learn some things, carry it in Brooklyn, can't do it. Now you're in Phoenix. When he got to Phoenix, I thought the same. I think we all said the same thing. Who's going to play defense? And you got rid of some great players, some great young players in Phoenix that had you at the brink. And you just blew it up. You got rid of the coach, and here you are. You come after you get swept in the playoffs and say you're not getting utilized right. That was supposed to be ironed out at the beginning of the season, how you're going to be utilized. So I look at him as being a person that cannot carry a franchise. He's a good player, but he can't carry a franchise. He needs another player to kind of help spell him to kind of do what he does. And you know, Bill and Booker were hurt, I think, part of the year. He was hurt part of the year. You could say, hey, they never got the chemistry, but you gave up so much. You gave up so much. You gave up a coach. Now he's in Detroit. You gave up, okay, a player that the coach didn't get along with Ayton. Nobody's heard. He's in witness protection up in Portland. Nobody's heard from him. And you bring in Durant, who you bring in a 20-plus point player, and realizing that, okay, he ain't the guy that we thought he was, that was going to come in here and make us an instant championship team. Devin Booker, come over to the Knicks. I've been politicking and pushing this for years. Come over to the Knicks, man. Make it a championship team, because that's the style you're playing. You can play with these guys. You can shoot. You can run up and down, play defense. They have stripped everything that made that team a possibly championship team and left you holding the bag. Go over to the Knicks, man. Go over to the East Coast, bro, because they're not going to help you there at Phoenix. Ice?
Yeah, wow. It's coming out now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm glad you at least came out with that. That's great. So
we bullying Philly fans. We bullying Philly fans, and I'm gonna bully people on this panel. Let's go, Knicks. Let's go.
Well, you know what, them jerseys be coming out. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, it's just ironic, everybody thinks now that you can just put three people together and it's gonna be automatic. I think basketball still comes down to a lot of basics, and one of the basics that Phoenix doesn't have. Of course, they don't play defense. You didn't know what was gonna happen with Bill, Durant, and then also with the shooter as well. So you didn't know what was happening there. But the problem is, as you guys mentioned, how much money is being tied up in the contracts. So you got Durant for 2 more years, you got Bill for 3, and I think you got Booker for 4. So there's no room, a lot of room there, which means more likely they'll have to get rid of the coach because Vogel is just, I don't know, they're not here anymore. They want to blame it on him. That's what it is. But I think if you do change the coach, because you got rid of Monty Williams, he was the problem. You got a lot of, you just keep going around the Mulberry bush, and you have a brand new group of owners. So they're going to have to set the tone somehow or another. I think first of all, the thing you have to do is whenever you get that coaching, you got to find a point guard, man. I don't know who the hell that is or how much money it's gonna cost you, but you got to have a person that's delegated to getting everybody involved. And maybe that might not be directly. I was trying to look at the free agent roster, see if anybody was available that they could afford. They might have to make a trade or two and get you a point guard. So I know that you get the 3, and I'm not saying you got to be top of notch point guard, right? You're not gonna go over and get one of the top notch guys, but you need somebody delegated to go. All right, this person's gonna be here, and I'm not talking about Chris Paul. Anyway, you need somebody.
That's who they'll end up getting.
Yeah, but no, that's not. He can't check me right now, and I got 3 minutes left. 3 minutes in the jumper. That's all I got left. He can't check me right now, seriously. But but you have to go to somebody that doesn't really care. It's not a big money thing. They're just glad to be on the squad, and they're gonna work hard for you and do what they do and cause chaos. And I'm sounding like I'm describing Patrick Beverly, but that's not him anymore. But and that would be chaos too, because he probably be shooting the ball. But I'm just saying, whoever it is, they need somebody that can come in there and move the ball, get those guys in position. Because to me, we didn't know until they got on the court. I think the issue that Bradley Beal is having is the same issue that Damian Lillard is having in Milwaukee. These guys were the main scorers on the previous teams. They were shooting, and it didn't matter because when they were on, they were the number one option. But in basketball, no matter how great you are, when you're trying to play for a wonder, one of the things you must understand, there's a thing called chemistry. And with chemistry, that means you have to sacrifice some of your game in order for the rest of the team to be good. So there's not too many teams that you see just come out and just dominate because they just better than everybody talent-wise. Miami Heat tried to roll with that the first time they got together, and Dallas with 9 players that was nowhere near as superstars like they did, beat them. I go back to, I'm going old school with y'all, 1977, Philadelphia 76ers.
How you keep
got
going
by
there?
a Portland team and Bill Walton. For real. I mean, it's just the superstars out the wazoo. But you have to learn how to play with chemistry and be not be as selfish and work the ball game, because that's how you win games. You don't see, I tell you, name me one dude, one guy, and it doesn't happen in the NBA, that just took over and won by himself. Don't happen. You got to have players around you. You got to work around it. As great as people are, you might be the focus of it. You have got to learn how to play with chemistry and learn how to play with other people.
Can I say something real quick, man?
Yeah.
On the heels of that, and I think the biggest problem now in the NBA, man, these players have the mentality, and the league is playing up to it, that they know everything they need to know about basketball and what it is to basically put together a winning team. And I look at the Lakers, for the most part. How did the Lakers win games and look better when LeBron James and Anthony Davis wasn't playing? Because the surrounding cast basically went out there, didn't have to placate to them. So I'm saying to myself is, okay, Anthony Davis, LeBron, when you guys come back, let these guys play. Pick and choose where you're going to step in. If you guys trying to dominate, this is what they do against Denver. You dominate from the 3 quarters. You come out, you make it all about them. Now they're standing back watching you. Then when the 4th quarter comes, they have no points. They're not in the game. They don't feel the game. And then at the end of the game, they have no points. You go, well, they didn't contribute. You didn't allow them to contribute. Look at Denver on the other hand. The Joker could basically dominate 4 quarters if he chooses to, He doesn't do that. He allows the other players to get in. Let them eat. Let them feel the game. Then when the fourth quarter comes, guess what? He shows up. So it's not about his stats, but you have the mentality in the NBA. I got to get mine. If I don't get mine and we lose, then it's got to be the coach's fault. Look what happened in Milwaukee. Now you talk about Damian Lillard. Milwaukee was basically dragged to get there. They didn't really want Damian Lillard. They were dragged to because they fear if they didn't do that, who's leaving? Greek Freak. That wasn't enough. As soon as they get Damian, they're winning. The Greek Freak, no, we got to change quarterbacks. I'm not quarterbacks. We got to change head coaches. So what's happening in the NBA? They pay too much attention to this NBA players' temperament. But they feel their emotions. A lot of these guys run on emotions. They've been raised by their mamas. What's named Durant's a big example. They feel their emotions. So when they lose, they'll understand, okay, maybe you should go look at the film, make some adjustments. No, the first thing they do, Anthony Davis included, call the coach out. We didn't know what he was doing. You're a grown-ass man getting paid to play basketball. I don't care if you don't have a head coach. If you've been in the league for 10 years, you better read and determine what goes on and make adjustments on the floor. But no, you had to got the coach at the whole game, and that's what it is. They don't take accountability, and their mentality is, you know what? We got to win. If we don't win, it's somebody else's fault. And the NBA ownership and general managers are paying attention to them. Your job is to play, not to be general managers and not to be owners.
Yep. Throw the bum out. Throw the man under the bus. That's the name of the game. No accountability at all. None. Let's talk about, there are two hot takes I want to talk about. A lot of people aren't talking about this. About 5 players from the Duke Blue Devils basketball team in the transfer portal in the offseason, including their team leader, Jeremy Roach. And then there's another story that I'm really loving. Roger Goodell proposes changes to the Super Bowl weekend that I really like, and the regular season. So let's go to Roger Goodell first, and then we'll go to Duke. Roger Goodell proposes just 2 preseason games, ice, 2 bye weeks, also 18-game schedule, and also the Super Bowl played on President's Weekend, so that when you have the Super Bowl on Sunday, you have a Monday off to recover from all the nachos and the wings and the beer and the alcohol that's consumed on Super Bowl Sunday. Your thoughts, man?
Yeah, well, you got to think about it. Master plan by Roger Goodell and his people, right? The ones up top, because you got to think about it. You have different audiences that you need to serve. First of all, when you want to serve the fans, which they're not number one, right? First of all, number one, their audience is the players, right? You want to say the owners, but you got to get the players what they want. And the players are like, man, there's too many preseason games. I don't want to get hurt, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So they basically, the weeks have not changed. Same amount of games. They just changed they put a different name and a bow tie on it and make it look like it's a turkey and it's Christmas. But what they did is they put it up front with the 2 games that you said up front, only 2 preseason games. Okay, cool. I ain't got to worry about that. Then they, kind of give them a little rest. And then the Super Bowl is like maybe another week later, like you said, on President's Day, everybody's school there. So the players are like, all right, I'm still getting my money and I'm only playing 2 preseason games. So they're kind of like, cool. Then you go to the fans and the fans are like, damn, how on the weekend, holiday weekend, I got that day off. It's gonna be on. I'm gonna take it off anyway. But look what the NFL did for me. So and then they said, plus, I don't want to watch preseason games. I want to see the real games anyway. Who's really watching preseason games? So they're excited. They're gonna keep looking around, buying jerseys, doing whatever they do. And then the owners said the reason why they did not want the preseason games cut because they're like, well, hell, we get paid no matter what. You know what? We give them 4 horrible games that only maybe the reserves, the starters are gonna play maybe a quarter, half a series, or one half out of the 4 games, and they still get money because the people that don't get a chance to go to the games just flock to the stadium anyway. So Goodell was like, look, here's the deal, here's what we're gonna do. So he flipped out on them that, hey, it's only 2 games and you still getting your money. So what I just said was a round robin of satisfying 3 different audiences with the same utensil. Same thing. You like your hamburger like this, y'all. Okay, cool, I got you. With the same thing, same cheese, same thing. Left one ingredient out, put another back in. They only cook it one way, one time. They got you. That's what they do. That's why it's the Billionaire Boys Club, and they still making money. And when you think they doing something for you, they sitting back going, laughing, because it's the same money, bro. They're not missing a beat.
How you like your hamburger, Black?
Man, look well, baby. I'm gonna tell you something. This been in the making for the past 5, 6 years, man. Back in like they've been talking about this off and on. Maybe not the move to basically play on that weekend, but 18-game season. Remember, he came out with that about 5, 6 years ago, and the players lost their mind. No. Okay, let's do 17. They kept quiet. And quietly, if you're not noticing, they're moving to the point where now they're going to basically have more games in foreign countries, bro, every single year. Brazil, Mexico, London, it's coming. And, they give you a game every year, and you go, oh, it's not that bad. They're setting the foundation. That's coming next. I love the idea of playing on that Monday, but that Sunday night of that weekend, boss. I'm telling you, because a lot of kids were being taken out of school, not going to school Monday morning, not that they're thinking about this. People are staying home from work. Guess what? None of that has to happen anymore. Most people get paid for that Monday anyway. Man, please. There's gonna be more, what's the word I'm looking for? More headaches, more basically people going on Monday. Hangovers, that's the word I was looking for. There could be more hangovers on that weekend, man, than ever before. There might be a lot of fighting marriages, man, because so I think it's a great idea, man. I love the NFL, how they're always looking to kind of move their game along, and they do a hell of a job. Hell of a job. So this right here is a win-win all the way around. You hear some grumping about the 18-game season, but guess what? The 2 buys, how can you complain? You got 2 buys? 2? Come on, how can you complain, bro? The NFL, and another thing they're doing quietly, Friday night football. Now they have like a little rule in place, but they're not supposed to play on Friday night because they want to do that to local football. How long do you think that's going to last? How long do you think NFL will keep buying that rule? It's going to come, baby. Friday night football is coming. Friday night lights, no, Friday NFL lights is coming your way. Give it about 3 years.
I can see them doing that towards the end of the season when high school football is out of the picture and playoff. Yeah, I can see them doing that. I can see them doing that, just taking it over as soon as high school football's over.
But they got a game now, beginning of the year, beginning of the season's Friday night, man. Friday night.
Wow. NFL, y'all, some dirty dogs, but we keep watching. Let's go to the Duke Blue Devils. And Roach wrote a letter to the Duke Nation saying, hey, he is going to get into the NBA draft, but also maintaining his eligibility. So he's going into the transfer portal. This was one of the major cogs in that Duke team. 5 different players, Black, in the transfer portal. I would have never thought players from Duke would be unhappy and put themselves in the portal.
Let me just say this, man. Duke, the university itself, got help all season. I think I commented, throughout the season, how Duke keep losing, but yet stays ranked number 5. Stays ranked, they stay relevant. When they was basically losing time and time, but they would never drop. So I think to some of these players, they may not be said, they're not the bad anymore to get you to where you want to go if you want to play in the NFL. At the time, they were kind of like quietly. You go to Duke, have a good season, you coach under Mike K. People look at you, okay, you're ready for the NFL. True or false, it was a way to go. Now, with this other coach there, I think that stigma is gone. I think they're looking at they're not winning. I don't think they're buying into what he's saying. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but I think the change, the transition itself is not. Because look at it, because look what this young man is saying. I'm transferring, but I want to go to the NBA. Now, he already probably knows at this point he's not an NBA prospect. How you been there for a couple of years under his tutelage, and you're good, but the NBA knows nothing about you. So I think that's part of it. It's not being said, and I think there's something going on down there. These kids aren't buying. These young men are not buying into what's going on in Duke, and they may want to fix it quick because if it gets out, I mean, the rankings can't help you when you're constantly losing. They can't help you.
Yeah, I know there are a number of players from Duke in the last few years have been wanting to get into the NBA with the one and done. Never thought that would happen at Duke. Also, Ice, but here's a player saying, "Hey, I'm going to, get into the draft, but I'm going to get into the portal also." Did you anticipate this happening after Mike Krzyzewski left? That these many players, 5 players at least, are in the transfer portal?
Oh, not at all. Because you think that with the rich tradition to do basketball, that it would just keep going on, right? You have to do something really bad not to get people to come to Duke, or at least as long as you're following the Coach K mold. So something definitely is wrong there. But it's interesting though, because I think it's up to 7 now. They're up to 7 players that have transferred.
Wow.
From Duke. Yeah, they're up to 7. So I think Coach Shire is going into his 3rd year, just trying to figure it out. But they also picked up because sometimes, I mean, with that, you can't wait. If they go on, you just got to move on, bro. And he has moved on, so he already jumped into the portal. They have Malik Brown, power forward from Syracuse, that transferred there. Another interesting name they picked up is Mason Gillis. Mason Gillis from Purdue. A lot of people may not remember him, but Mason Gillis was the guy that came off the bench. He's very physical, could shoot threes, always hustling all over the place. He's transferring to Duke. This might be his opportunity because when you noticed him, he was a reserve player waiting. It seemed like he was waiting for his opportunity. That's what Duke needs. They need somebody that's gonna come in here and be hungry, get some buckets, and trying to shine their game. And I think that's what he's going to do. Plus, too, they have a commitment from one of the top heralded freshmen ever in freaking high school basketball, and Cooper Flag. A lot of people when we're talking about him, I think he changed his eligibility one year, then he moved up, and they everybody that you listen to, any of the prepsters, writers, swear this is the dude. He's the guy. He's that special. So we're gonna find out and see. You know, I really don't get caught up in that stuff until they actually get on the court. Because it's a lot of hype going on, a lot of things. But hey, from what they're saying, it's gonna be a totally different looking team. And who knows? Maybe this is what Shire needs. He probably needs some people. Some coaches are like that. When it comes to having real talent, they really don't coach well. But you give them some guys that might be 3, 4 stars max, put that grunt work in. Gary Williams at Maryland used to be that way. He didn't really, when he was at Ohio State, he didn't want all that. I don't believe he had one of that height with the talent. But just put him in there with some guys that are, like when he's at Boston College with some guys that's grunt workers and they work real hard. That's when they're most successful. But it will be interesting to see what Duke basketball does moving forward.
Okay, let's go to the NBA. The OKC coach gets Coach of the Year, and rightly so. Took his team to a #1 seed. And what really is ironic, and I read this, Mike Sposa from Miami never got Coach of the Year, and he was doing some great work down in Miami with teams that not as talented. But I was looking at that. But let's look at that in the NBA playoffs. LeBron and the Lakers hanging there one more game. I think tonight's the night. Let's get rid of them. You got an extra night of money, ESPN or TNT, wherever the game is on. Let's go back to ice with the NBA wrap up with the playoffs and the Coach of the Year.
Yeah, Coach of the Year. I mean, what can you say? OKC, bro. Like I said, I like to see young guys play real hard, and not only that, compete. They just don't care. They're not afraid. They don't care. It takes a very special effort to beat them because it's like they don't know any better, right? It's like when you go to the gym, you go play ball outdoors with the kids, or you play at the open gym, and you're an older guy, and you say, oh yeah, we're gonna run the court or whatever. And here come these 5 young dudes, like, man, what you say, old dude? Like you up. They have no fear. You gotta love that. And not only that, they play under control, and the coach knows what's going on. So I love watching OKC. I can see why they're up the way that they are. I'm gonna jump out there. Them Knicks, man, they surprising the hell out of me. Especially not having the score, him being hurt and whatnot. I'm surprised. And maybe that's better for them because Randall was known to take some shots that was ill-advised at the wrong time. Mm-hmm. And maybe this is opening the door for some other people. So, I think that's cool. Celtics, Heat, man, Celtics just, come on, bro. They just kind of biding their time and seeing what they're going to do. What's the other one, too? We have, is that Cavaliers Magic still going on?
Yeah, 2-2. Yeah.
Yeah, 2. That's surprising. And I know we've been talking about the Magic and what they have possibly could do, but you just don't know where's the leadership coming from Cleveland. As much as I like Mitchell, it's like sometimes he just kind of fade away. And it's like, dude, this is your opportunity. Step up, show us your game, and he hasn't really done that. And I already know how it is, man. And see, this is where I'm gonna do and I'm gonna get off of this real quick. I'm gonna come up with that conspiracy theory. You know what? This is just me, and I don't know anything about anything. I'm just outsider, observer looking in. seemed to me like Donovan Mitchell was just trying to coast his way, go play for the damn Knicks. That's just me. For real. You know, he won't sign no extension. You know, oh no, yeah. Well, let's talk about it at this point. It's like okay. Last point, I promise. You should have just said when you left before, when you was out west, I want to play only for the Knicks, and that's where I want to go. Why you even went to Cleveland? You ain't. I mean, you scoring and you playing, but I don't think his heart is in it, bro. Because your heart was in it, we can get a little bit more from you. Because they had a talent. They're pretty good. But he just seemed like he just kind of, well, you know, my mama called me. I was gonna come to New York, but then again, I changed my mind. And mom said, "I told you you should have came to New York. You could have been over here every Sunday eating, you know, eating pies and cakes and everything. I'll take care of you. You know how it is." I really secretly think he's trying to go to New York. Just going to get over with, man. We ain't got no time for that. I'm not a Cleveland fan either. Just hurry up.
Everybody trying to make it to New York, right? Black. Everybody trying to come to New York. Remember Kevin Durant? Like, I ain't going to play for the Knicks. None of them want to play in that boo-hoo, poo-poo, or the Knicks. Now everybody want to go to the Knicks. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna come right in on that, man, because I do believe that's where he's trying to get to. I'll be honest with you, and I don't even call myself a Knicks fan anymore. I wouldn't want Donovan Mitchell. To me, the cat doesn't show he has any heart. He can score, or every now and then he can play, but you should be a dog no matter where you are, bro. I don't care where you are. Somebody's backyard, man. I want to see a dog in you. And I just don't see it in Donovan Mitchell. Good player, you know, could be some of a good teammate. I don't see it, but I know they was talking about up here a little while ago. The Knicks had some eyes on him. They want him. So it's a good possibility. You know how talk goes with his agent and everything else. I would not be surprised. We'll talk about the coach of OKC. And I didn't realize this too recently, man, that he was up here in Connecticut years ago when Calhoun was winning and doing stuff. He was with UConn. And he wasn't a coach. He was one of like some of the managers just doing some of the stuff, like the administrative stuff. Wasn't that. And he go get his master's at Florida. And while he was at Florida, he kind of did some things. And the coach there, Billy Donovan, saw him, asked him to come be part of his staff. Again, not a coach for the most part. And they got along. They did some things. Donovan showed him a few things. So when Donovan went on to OKC, he brought him with him to OKC. And, you know, a lot of times this name doesn't get really thrown out there. You think of the general manager of OKC, Presti, he has seen some talent, man. You think about it. He drafted, you know, you think about it, he basically landed Westbrook, the Beard, Durant. So he knows when he sees some talent. Look how he put this team together right now that's playing. These young guys play, man, they love each other. They're not out here basically trying to hot dog and be about me. No, they're out there playing together. And remember part of the season when that one player was under suspicion for basically, man, they was like, we ain't even dealing with that. We're out here playing basketball, bro. We out here in the backyard having popsicles, playing basketball, eating creamsicles. We ain't thinking about that. Y'all let us know when something's really serious. And that's the way these young guys are taking it. And you see it on the court. So I commend him. I commend the franchise. And OKC, man, they may not do it this year, but they're on their way. They're a young franchise that's on their way. I'm happy to see what the Knicks are doing. Like I said, without Randall, who could imagine it? But like I said earlier, a lot of times when your focus is not trying to basically play to one player, look what a team can do. Look what a team can do. You can't tell me, realistically, they are more talented than the Philadelphia 76ers. But the Philadelphia 76ers play to who? They play to Joel Embiid limping, hopping up and down the court. They play to him. And look what it does to the team. And you got some players out there like Tobias Harris. That cat should have been in the league 10 years. He reminds me of Charles Smith Jr. He really does, man. I don't know why. He reminds me of Charles Smith Jr. Basically got the height, does nothing with it. Absolutely nothing. So I'm not even going to talk about the Lakers because there's no need to. We already know what time it is. Even if they win tonight, they're not winning that series. I'm not going to give them time there to talk about them. I will say this. I'm impressed with Minnesota. I am impressed. I know Anthony Edwards is what he is, but that team around him, man, shows up. They shows up defensively. They show up when offensively. They're not a bad squad. They're coached well. So I would not be surprised.
Edwards is being mentioned in same realm as Michael Jordan. And I saw it last night. I saw it last night in the last couple of games. When there's 5 minutes left in the game, they give him the ball and like, bring us home, Daddy. Bring us home. Yeah. I haven't seen that since Michael Jordan, where I watch Bulls games all day, every day here in Chicago. When it was 5 minutes left in the game, we know as Knicks fans, when it was 5 minutes left, you know who's going to get the ball. It was almost like the closer in baseball. Like, okay, I'm about to take this game and do whatever he had to do, and that's what Edwards has been doing. I mean, just showing up, KD, throughout the whole series. Like, oh man, you can't guard me, and just talking. And he made a statement on an ESPN show, and he said, "I just want to kill anybody who's in front of me." I'm like, I ain't heard that since Kobe and Michael. So this dude is a dog. SGA out of OKC, same way. Give him the ball at the end of the game. Let's take it home. So I've been talking about OKC for years. They have finally showed up, #1 seed, and they're doing their things. Doc Rivers looked like his stomach hurt in Milwaukee. Like, oh boy, here it goes again. Les Nessman with the violin. Here we go again. I'm about to be out the playoffs, and I should have stayed in the booth when I had a chance. And I blame this on the Greek Freak, because you got your brother up there sitting on the bench with his uniform on, waiting to get in the game. You can't help them, bruh. You could have had a player when you got hurt. Now Dame is hurt. You could have had a player step up, but now you're relying on Patrick Beverly to kind of give you it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. So, this is another telltale sign of you want to coach the team, you want to be a GM, and here we go. Here we go. I don't see why the Celtics are playing with the Heat. They keep playing with them. And what the hell is happening with Jimmy Butler with pigtails on the sidelines? I do not know. I do not know. But Luka said yesterday after their loss to the Clippers, I got to be better help to Kyrie, because Kyrie was playing his butt off last game. And Luka, I can see trying to play a little bit of defense. It really kind of shocked me. He playing a little bit, just a little bit in this series. I'm not going to say last game, but in this series, he's trying to play a little bit of defense. But that should be an interesting series. I'm hoping that Dallas takes the Clippers out, because I think the Clippers are just a flash in the pan. They're the #4 seed, but that's just me. Let's do a quick story on Ezekiel Elliott. Response on Ezekiel Elliott going back to the Dallas Cowboys. I'm gonna hold off Ice for a second. Black Ezekiel going home again, man. Should never left, my opinion. And every time I think of Ezekiel Elliott, I think of the last play he played in Dallas, where they had him centering the ball, hiking the ball with no line, and him just getting blown up. This was your plan. This was the last play. This was his desperation play to get a touchdown. Your thoughts, man? He's going home. Going home to the Cowboys.
There's an old saying that you never can go back home, boss. And that saying might be true here. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. On the heels of 3 rounds, 3 days of drafting, 7, 8 rounds, there had to be some running back out there. Nothing against Zeke that you could bring in that could give you 3 times what he's going to give you as a team. I just don't get it, man. It almost seems with Jerry Jones now, in so many words, as basically he hasn't totally waved the white flag, but he's like, I'm getting ready to wave it. I'm just about ready to wave it. And one thing about Jerry, he has a heart. He can come across all this, whatever. Certain players he has a heart for. Zeke must be one of them, because I just don't understand it. From a general manager standpoint, from an ownership standpoint, it had nothing to do with Zeke as a person, what he's giving you. What can he give you now? It just makes no sense to me. Other than sentimental reasons, it makes no sense. And you're going to hear a lot of fanfare. Oh, yeah, he can't anymore. Zeke can't. It's like waiting for the quarterback who used to play for the Carolina Panthers to come back and play. He can't do it anymore either. Sometimes you got to let people live where they live. And I'm sorry, man. To me, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm looking at the last 8 years of his production. He started off in 2016 with an average of 108 yards, a little more than 108 yards per game. 2017, 98. 2018, 95. 2019, 84. 2020, 65. 2021, 58. In 2022, 58. Last year, he had 37 yards per game. And now we're in 2024. It just seems like his skills are diminishing, or that he just can't do it anymore. And this is year 9 he's going into.
Yeah, I find it interesting. He is who he is. And skills they have diminished. I would say, yeah, but dude's only 28 years old, man. and they ran the hell out of him early on, not making an excuse. But why is it though? This is the problem I think with Dallas. So you talk about that, what Zeke is not doing, what Zeke is not this. So you go out and spend all this money on wide receivers. You go out and try to shore up the defense, saying all this and that. You give Dak Prescott all this money, and you're still losing. Then you get rid of Dak, Ezekiel Elliott, because he can't got it no more. He's washed up, all that, right? So you go in and you get Pollard all this money, and Pollard's gonna be the next best thing, and this coach's son, and he can run real fast, so he's gonna be the backup, and all this mythological type of scenarios. And even with the defense, with Michael Parsons over there, oh yeah, oh yeah. They're a great team when they lead, but when they're behind, defensively they freaking struggle. So with all that being said, so now people go, well, you know, Zeke ain't this, Zeke ain't that. Zeke was better than a lot of people that you had. I'm not saying he's gonna be the main dude, but the one thing he can do, particularly even now, if you keep him as a red zone, runner who can catch the ball, and he's one till even today one of the best damn blockers that you will ever find for a running back. He learned that in Columbus, and then when he moved to Dallas, he carried it on. So he is who he is. He's not going to do whatever. But when I would ask this question, what else have they done in the offseason? So to me, Zeke it's a damn upgrade. At least you know he gonna come in, he gonna work hard. He give you what he got. What else can you ask? They ain't going no damn where anyway. Everybody know that. They keep going around, Jerry. You got the same coach. We're going all in. For what? What have you done? You gave up way more money, and he gonna get in some more sleep mattress commercials, and still gonna be the same thing. You have to have somebody has to step up, and somebody has to be held accountable. And to me, the coach, quarterback, and you can't say CeeDee Lamb fall no damn more because he's doing what he's supposed to do. He earned his money, so it's got to follow somewhere else. Or Jerry, just quit, man. Just get out the way, let somebody else mess it up. Because y'all ain't going nowhere anyway.
All right, I'm going to table the Major League Baseball report and the draft, the winners and losers for next week, because I think we need to analyze some of the players and where they're going, the winners and losers and stuff. So let's do a deeper analysis of that. And let's talk about Candace Parker. I know that she's your favorite. I thought she was going to come back and play for the Aces this year, and she just said, hey, I was trying to convince myself to do it, Black, but my body, my mind had to convince, my body had to convince my mind that this is it. I think she's about 38 years old, and she was trying to get out there and do it again. So what a career, man. What a career.
Yeah.
So my thing was I was pissed off with the Caitlin Clark thing because I'm like, here you got Candace Parker, who was decorated, won championships, and did a wonderful job in women's basketball, but she's not getting half the recognition as somebody who's never even played in the WNBA.
No, yeah, I'm gonna keep it separate and just focus on Candace because we know what's behind ball. I mean, Caitlin, there's no, you could flip it up and down, whatever the case may be, but we know exactly what that is. Candace is just something special, man. Legendary career, legendary person. I remember a couple of years ago, and she's won a championship since then, if I'm not mistaken, that ABC basically said to her, in so many words, you're the next Robin Roberts. Come here, we want to, basically mold you, mentor you. You're the next one. And it seemed, I don't know if she put it on hold, but it seemed like she said, no, I'm not ready. Okay, maybe she doesn't want it. But to me, I think, that's who she is. She's beyond basketball. I mean, she's basically her greatness, her person, her personality, who she is. It's just, yeah, I just look at her in awe a lot of the times, man. I really do, because she's so realistic. She's such a woman. She's such a person to that. You look at it and you're just like, you're happy for her. So, I think a lot went into this decision for her because she said she was coming back. I think too, and I hate to kind of say it, but I will say it because, I try to be straightforward. I think the Aces played a part in this too. I think they kind of realized last year when they were lifting and winning, she wasn't there. And it feels good, and she got a ring by not being there. But at her age, can they count on her being there again? And maybe not. So maybe they had a talk and they kind of had a realization, and she just realized, you know what, when I'm feeling what's going on, and she's gotten married recently, she has a child. Maybe it's time to step away. I just hope that the things that maybe been offered to her previously are still there, because I think she has outside of basketball, bro. So much more to give. I love when she's on TNT. She holds it down. Her commentary when she's with the college basketball, it's not like she's just up there talking, man. She's really giving you some insight, and that's beautiful. So enjoy the retirement, Candace. We're gonna keep looking at you. I know I'm gonna keep looking at you. I'm always looking at you. For me, you ain't even gotta talk. Just show up. Just show up. That's it. I can mute the television. Just show up.
Ice, Miss Parker.
Yeah, Miss Parker. What can you say? One heck of a player. Everything that she wanted to do, she's been able to be dominant. Even when people went against the way that she was talking earlier about the league and how things should improve, and some people say they acted as if they didn't like her, she still was dominant. I mean, she's done a lot. She's been MVP. She's been Defensive Player of the Year. She was Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same year. I don't think that's ever been done by anybody except for her. And she's polished, charismatic, and she gives you the truth. She's a dog too. She showed you when she talked about it. Well, if I was in the paint, she did. When she's talking to the fellas, she's like, and she will show you, I got a jumper, I can do everything. She's dunked, right? Back-to-back games. What hasn't she done? She's done everything. And I think the one thing that has been, for me, has been a disservice to her is nobody really is talking how great she was, right? I know we live in that time right now, but nobody talk about, man, she's amazing. We keep talking about all these other people, but her, Olympian, right, gold medalist. I mean, she's done it all. And then you flip that and go into the off the court, domineering personality, and can talk basketball with anybody. I mean, I wish, and I know they probably won't do it more because she's doing more of the male games. I would love to listen to her talk women's basketball. I would love that because that I'm not saying she's not an expert because she knows basketball. She's been there on all levels, but I think she could just add so much to the women's game. Just give her. Maybe she don't even want to do it, but I love to sit here and go, well, Tennessee and Connecticut, just like my God, because she's been in the locker. She's been there. That's so rich, but she's doing great things. And other than that, I wish nothing but the best. Dynamite personality, dynamic and whatnot, and congratulations on the marriage, and I'm glad you're happy where you are. Still fine, sister. I don't care. So, they say that, they say, guys that know, they don't even care. It's like, okay, nobody's trying to come at you, make you put yourself out of who you are, and that's great, but you're still fine. So, real men, even though that's your life, how you living it, and we all good with that, we still can admire you from afar. As Blackthorn said, you broke our hearts, but damn it, when you come on there, you still know what you're doing. You're breaking a lot of hearts, but we still gonna look at you because we admire you as a beautiful person who's doing great things, but you're still fine as hell. And real men recognize that despite what you say and how you roll. We ain't mad at you. Keep rolling on. God bless. Continue success. But we still watching you, girl.
I'm so glad that you guys have grown and you're healing from that devastating loss of Candace Parker. Hey, Miss Parker. Hey, Miss Parker. Hey, congratulations. Congratulations on a great career, a Hall of Fame career. We're giving you your flowers now. Giving your flowers now and your contribution to basketball. Just not to women's basketball, but to basketball. Enjoy your retirement. We thank you. We thank you because we watched you and we watched you dominate, not only in college, but in the WNBA with the Sparks and right here in Chicago, bringing them their first championship and then going to the Aces. So kudos. We look forward to seeing you commentate these games and sharing your knowledge. Last second shot, Black.
It's interesting, man. You talked about Caitlin earlier. And I was watching the Pacers play Milwaukee one night. She was at the game. And every chance they got, they flashed over to her. And I said, no, it's not her fault. It's really not her fault. Because a lot of this is brought on my social media, whether you want to believe it or not. You look at the young lady that came to Kansas City Chiefs game. When social media reacts, in reality, everyone follows, which is crazy. It's trendy, it's short-lived, and we haven't figured that out yet. So at some point, the gravy has to hit the meat and has to be solid. And in both cases, it's not going to matter. So it's short-lived, and that's why I don't buy into it. I don't tend to get upset because what I found is if you don't have substance, it's not really worth it. And that's what social media pushes, non-substance. And a lot of times we buy into it. So either buying or you're not buying. I just choose not to.
Ice.
Yeah, we didn't really chance to talk about the NFL draft, but I just want to throw a couple things out there that I saw, particularly Atlanta. The whole thing with Kirk Cousins getting paid over $100 million, and then you go with the, I think it was number 8 pick, picking up Penix from Washington. And then they said, well, they didn't inform Kirk until late that they were going to do. You getting paid $100 million? Shut your ass. Speak what?
Shut up.
What? We ain't got to tell you anything. We need you to get to rehab and be ready to go, and we will pick who the hell we want to pick. A lot of people don't like that, but I mean, you could have done now unless you could say at 8, there's one player in there that you think could really make a total difference for Atlanta. I'm not sure that's the case. So why not check on the future? Why not? I mean, you act like y'all won the Super Bowl next year, or you the big substance. You're going to no, you're not. You're not. So you got a couple years with Cousins, $100 million. Hopefully he steps up. If he doesn't, you got a young guy that can step up, do what he has to do, and try to move forward. Chicago, y'all doing everything, everything in the Swiss bank to make sure Caleb Williams is good. You done brought in 19 wide receivers. You brought in a lineman. You done brought in a couple of defensive dudes. You got a running back now. I mean, damn, is it Cinderella at the ball? You did everything you could. And then you got rid of the little stepson, Justin Fields. Got rid of him and just let him go. If you'd have done better, what you mean? Hell, I was here just like him. And I got rid of him. But Justin, don't worry about it, bro. You're going to be all right in Pittsburgh, because the one thing I said to you guys earlier, and I get off of this with my last second shot, the one thing is this. Everybody's talking about these quarterbacks and Justin Fields, not all that too. Mike Tomlin is going to be a freaking genius when y'all say this. How many people will realize how many times have you looked at an NFL franchise, you can probably count on your hand, where they had 2 African-American mobile quarterbacks that can make damn plays. Y'all think Tomlin's stupid? Tomlin's like, oh, y'all want him? Bet. Watch this. I told y'all before, red zone, 20 yards in, 18-12, you will have to account for somebody. They scoring. Pittsburgh hasn't done that in years. Somebody that can run and get the ball inside from that standpoint. That changed the whole dynamic, man. So I'm not a Steelers fan, but just watch out, bro. The brothers is making noise. Brothers gonna make some noise. They're gonna work it out in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins act like we hadn't seen the film on him for the last 5-6 years. So shut up, cash check, shut up. And I noticed Pittsburgh, they're putting a stellar offensive line together to protect those quarterbacks. But I almost forgot what I was going to say. One of the things that I loved about the draft is that in past drafts, you have mamas out there protecting trying to protect their sons. There was one particular mama who was just she could I guess the son was drafted as a lineman. And she was doing better blocking than her son because he had his girlfriend on the side, and she was just boxing her out. Like, nah, This is baby's moment. This is our moment right here. You just showed up. And she was just boxing. So these mamas have been looking at different past draft tapes and saying, not you, little, college, debutante or whatever, go give me and take our shot. This is our time right here. So she was boxing her out. I got to get the player. I'll come up with it next week. But that mom, I know where he got his blocking skills from, his mama. And young man, put everything in your mama's name.
Sure.
Put everything in your mama's name. That's our show. We'll be back next week.
Over my life in my mama's name.